What if you have a fear that you just haven't been able to explain or you haven't been able to clear, right? What if there's a relationship that you just as soon as you met this person, like the bond felt like that, right? Like it just felt like it was always there, or there was some kind of static, some kind of friction where you can't explain that either. There's no reason for it, but it's just there. It could be intuition, and it could be intuition that's karmic. It could be coming from something other, right? What if there's a pattern that you're repeating no matter how hard you try, no matter the talk therapy and some of the other things that you've been trying, and you just feel like this pattern just keeps coming and coming and coming, and it feels frustrating. I get it, right? Um, or what if, like me, there was a physical pain or there's a physical pain that you're feeling? It doesn't make sense. You can't figure out where it came from, and yet it's there, and yet it's powerful, and yet it carries so much more meaning and significance than it feels like it should. So, those are some of the things that actually could be connected to a past life experience. Okay, so stay with me, whether you're a skeptic, whether you're like, oh my gosh, he's talking to me, this has happened to me, or I feel like this could be me, or I'm wondering, or I'm feeling like I could explore this. Stay with me because right now I'm going to share with you my personal experience. So, if you don't know me or you haven't experienced me before, I'm Latoya Zavala. I'm an energy mastery coach, guide, and practitioner. It is my heart, it is my joy, it is my passion to help beings, particularly women, be free. So, if religion, family, culture handed you a script and you've been playing to that script, you've been living that script, and you've been damn good at it, and now you're ready to be free from it, now you're done following it, you're in the right place. That's what this space is about. Welcome to Freed and Powered Up. Welcome to the Phoenix Codes, where we get to the old codes, we break them so that you can truly rise to who you really are. Let's get to it. So, this is my personal story, and this may be the first time that I'm sharing it to this extent publicly. So, welcome into this exclusive place. So, before I was doing what I do now, I was a chaplain in the military. So, if you're like, what's that? That is, say, a pastor or a minister to military personnel and their family members and those who are connected to them. So I did that for about a decade. And before that, I was a minister pastor. And before that, I was a missionary, right? So you could tell this was my life. All my degrees, bachelor's, master's, postgraduate certifications, um, postgraduate, all of those things were all in the realm of religion, theology, spiritual healing. There's always my desire to help people heal and to help people heal in a non-clinical, non-science way. And so that was my life. And I came from a very strict, very constraining religious background, denomination, Christian denomination. And so you can imagine I was preaching and teaching against all the things that I'm getting ready to tell you that I personally experienced. And I was preaching and teaching these things vehemently, right? Like serious, like, this is the devil, this is no go, this is evil, this is wickedness. And how to flee from it, how to, clear your house, clear your body from it. And was I faking it? No, in no way, shape, or form. I fully, absolutely believed in what I was doing and who I was and who I was being. I fully believed in how I was helping people at that time. And the way that I describe that, and this is really important for someone who may be watching, because this can play into, like, later on, you feel like imposterism, right? And things like that. No, at that consciousness level, that's who you were. And that was your belief system. And that's where your power was. And that's where your energy was. And as you expand, you become. So here I was, and I'm towards the end of my military career because I was feeling, okay, it's time for me to transition. It's time for me to get out. Hold on, I want to, right? It's time for me to transition. It's time for me to get out. And the things start happening to my body, things that weren't there before, right? Really difficult knee pain that in steroid injections, then things were not helping. I was having pain in my neck, severe pain, and debilitating pain, pain to the point where I was afraid to drive because I didn't have mobility. I couldn't move my neck. It was scary. And I had, at the time I had 2 children. I was in the process of adopting my 3rd, and it was a very difficult time for me. I had to drive an hour and a half to get to work, and not easy roads. So this was a scary time for me. So now I'm in chiropractic. I'm taking the steroid shots. I'm taking the medication they're telling me to take. I'm going to physical therapy. I'm doing the exercise they're telling me to do. I'm doing all the things and nothing's working. Now I'm starting to get into the what had considered at that time the fringe, right? So now I'm taking acupuncture, I'm taking sucking, the cupping, sucking. I'm taking what they call auricular acupuncture, which I didn't even know existed, right? So that's when they put the pins in your ears, more painful than they let on, by the way, right? And I'm doing all the things and it isn't working. And so at this point now I'm doing the things so that I can document, so that I can get out of the military. I'm succumbing to the fact that I'm probably going to live with this, right? I don't know why. I explain these things to my father. My father's like, I don't know where you got that from because it's not in our family. Right. And so I'm like, I don't know where I got it from. Um, and so this is happening. As I'm processing out, we're adopting, me and my husband, we're adopting our child, the 3rd child who comes in the middle. And processing, doing the things, and I'm still going to massage therapies here and there and trying some things to just at least alleviate a little bit of the pain. I get to a massage therapist who happens to be a Reiki practitioner, a master teacher as well. I had no idea what Reiki is. I had no idea. So when I get to her room and she says, well, would you like more massage or would you like more Reiki? I am like, I don't know. All I know is I'm in extreme pain. So do what you do. Next thing I know, she's doing energy work with me. And I can actually feel things happening in my body. And now I'm like, there's relief, there's curiosity, and there's WTF, what's happening? And am I in the realm of wickedness, right? What's happening? But I can feel things happening with my body. I can feel pulsing. I can feel tingling. And she said, okay, don't worry. This is kind of normal when you feel the energy moving. And I'm like, WTF again. What's happening, right? And so she said, tell me if you start feeling the pain moving. And y'all, I started to feel the pain move, not dissipate, but move. So the pain was lodged here. It started moving, moving, moving down my arm. And I'm telling her the pain is moving down my arm. And I'm freaking out, right? I'm literally freaking out. The pain starts moving down, and it lodges in my elbow joint. And so and she's doing the energy work, she's doing the energy work, she's doing the energy work, and it doesn't move from my elbow. And she said, well, um, I feel like it can move and that I probably shouldn't let you leave without it moving. So I feel like this might be a past life situation. And now I'm like, y'all, I'm effed. Because here I am. I'm a chaplain, right? I'm still wearing the cross. I'm still wearing the uniform. I'm still holding my ordination. I'm still all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I slipped into? But here's the point. Here's the point. I was so ready to feel relief that I was willing to explore what real relief would be. And this is vital and this is important. And if you're here and you're watching or you're watching hashtag replay, let me know. Like, I'm ready. You know what that feels like, or you've known what that felt like. I'm ready to feel real relief. I've been trying the things. I realized that some conventional things, some normal things, some regular things, I'm ready to feel real relief. If you've known what that felt like, put it in the chat. Let me know. I know what that feels like. I'm done and I'm ready. Okay, so what you need me to do, let me know. I will do that, right? So I'm there. I said, okay, well, let's go. And she led me into a past life meditation, which I had never done in my life. She leads me into this past life meditation. And she says, tell me what you see. And immediately a scene unfolds. And I can see myself. I can see myself like my body. I can see from first person view, right? So I'm seeing out of the eyes of this person. And I can see the scenery. I can see the time period. I can see what the people are wearing, the type of clothes they're wearing. So I'm knowing what kind of time period we're in. I'm sharing this with her. I'm seeing people walk by. And then she said, what's happening to you? And I could see myself on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor, I'm crouched down, and I'm in severe pain. And this long stake type nail is lodged in my arm, and I'm almost staked to the ground. And I said, this is where the pain is coming from. And she said, okay. And what that means is that the physical pain is more energetic than it was most anything else. It doesn't mean that you don't have the slipped disc or the herniated disc or the arthritis or whatever it is that you have. It means that there's more energetic happening than physical, right? Because we are several layers of our being, right? Of our essence here on this earth. And I came to find that out later. So she says it's more energetic than it is physical. And we get to now heal in that realm. And what she led me to do, I had never been led to do before. And what she said was, we now need to love on that little girl because she died that way. And what it was when she died that way is of course, there was physical pain, but attached to that was an emotional pain because people were walking by, going about their daily lives. I could see people going in shops, coming out shops with their bags and walking up and down the sidewalk and things. Where the nail came from, I could see it came from this abandoned, broken down cart. And no one would see me. And I'm using those words specifically. No one would see me. And the significance, what that felt like was, even though I was a child, vulnerable, innocent, I still was not worthy to be seen. Not just to be cared for, but not even to be seen. There wasn't even a gawking, like, oh my goodness, an accident or something happened. No, it was just people just walking by, and I was not seen. Not even enough to gawk at, not even enough to point at, not even enough to stare at. I see you, Super Queen, I'm ready. Yes, absolutely. So what started to play from that in this current life, I started to understand my fear of being seen, my fear of visibility, and how that began to play out in this life as a child, how I was shy, more shy than I am organically, shy, silent, quiet, in the corner, how in certain circles of my family that played out, that I was not seen. Not even enough to notice or understand that some other things were happening to me. Some abusive situations were happening to me. I just wasn't seen. And it was playing out. There's an interesting duality, right? And if you're feeling this, it could be fear of success, fear of failure, fear of visibility, fear of lots of things, right? Fear of loving again, fear of being loved. These things, they play out in duality. They play out in two sides of the coin, right? So because there was this visibility wound, Not only was I fear of being have a fear of being seen, but I was fear of seeing, right? Fear of seeing myself. And the fear of being the desire of wanting to be seen, right? Really emanating from this past life experience, this desire to be worthy enough to be seen, then because I wasn't, and because then lodged a belief, maybe you're not worthy to be seen, then there was a fear. Because the fear is not necessarily that they're going to see me, right? There can be some dualities. There can be a fear of they're going to see me. Oh my gosh. And what does that mean? They're going to see me in pain. They're going to see me wounded. They're going to see me crying. And then what the real fear is the judgment that comes from that. If they see me crying, then they're going to think I'm weak. They're going to think I'm not leader enough, or I'm not ready enough, or I'm not strong enough, or I'm not powerful enough, or, right? The judgment is what we're really afraid of, not necessarily being seen. Sometimes there's a fear of being seen because we have been convicted something about ourselves. I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too wide, I'm too flat, I'm too whatever it is. And so now I just don't want them to see me. Why? Because of the judgment. And the judgment then could lead to, so they won't be with me anymore. They won't love me, or they won't accept me, or they won't pay me, or they won't, on and on and on, right? So it's not just the fear of being seen, it's the wound. And then it's the meaning that we attach. What will happen if they actually see me? I have had people, not just one, I've had several people come who want to be my clients, who want to do the energy work, but they're afraid of being seen deeper than the mask that they have been wearing, because the mask has been protecting them. I am saying this because I fully understand it. I was carrying that visibility wound. I was afraid of being seen. And so therefore that mask was protecting me. That mask was shy, more shy than I usually am. That mask was being quiet when I could be speaking up. That mask was not showing up on social media. That mask was not going live. That mask was talking about things in a milder form than who I really am. It plays out. That mask is choosing a career where I get to hide behind a screen, or hide behind a desk, or hide behind a uniform, or hide behind an icon or a symbol. I see you if that's you, because that was me, right? And so we can take care of the symptoms and the symptoms and the symptoms, and do the mantras and do the meditations and not be really taking care of the wound. And sometimes that's because the wound didn't even originate in this lifetime. And I learned that by accident. So I want to say two things. For me, it played out in this visibility wound, right? And a secondary wound, which I'll talk about in a moment. But before I get there, I want to say that can be playing out with you in a love wound, a relationship wound, whether that's mother, daughter, siblings, cousins, uncle, aunts, relationship with yourself, relationship with what you would have considered divine, relationship with the earth. Ooh, right? Relationship with money, big one. This can play out in this way. This can also play out, we said relationships, right? Relationship with your money, wealth. This can play out in physical form, like it did with me. That visibility wound was playing out in physical pain. And I will tell you, that experience was so powerful for me, even though I didn't believe in it, even though I was preaching against it vehemently. That scene was so powerful and so real. It was my truth. And here is my invitation to you. No one gets to have spiritual authority, judgment, criticism, realism, validity over your truth. You will feel and you will know when it's your truth. It was my truth. I am so connected to that vision. That oftentimes when I'm experiencing like I don't want to go on social media, or I'm feeling like fear of judgment, or I'm feeling like I really feel in my heart I need to say this, but I'm afraid. Hey, we're human. And even though I help people with Reiki, and I help people with tapping, and I help people in circles, and I do these things and doing retreats and things, doesn't mean that these things don't come up and surface for me as I am spiritually and energetically expanding. That's what we're here for. We're here to expand. We're here to grow. Okay, so if you're here still watching, let me see you in the chat. I am here to grow, right? Or just put the word grow, right? Like I'm here to grow. I'm here to grow. Know that I'm here to expand. So there's no judgment. There's no criticism. There's no I should have been over this by now. There's no I should have cleared this by now. No, we're here to expand. And the more you expand is the more you're going to see some of these wounds and some of these energetic static and frictions and things that have happened, whether in this lifetime or past. So it can play out in these many different fears and wounds, right? What you would consider the sabotaging, self sabotage, perfectionism, imposterism. All of these things could be playing out from a past life wound. Repeating patterns with relationships could be playing out from a past life wound. So, okay. the second, the secondary wound that came from me is when I was in that Reiki session, she asked me, "Do you have a sense of what the accident was? What happened?" And I couldn't see it and I couldn't feel it. And I'm grateful. I was not ready yet. I was not at the consciousness level to be ready yet. And that's okay. Sometimes we feel like, oh, if we have an energetic healing or a past life experience, it has to be healed like that immediately, right? All things gone. No, I was not at the consciousness level for that. It just so happened just about 2 weeks ago, as I'm doing my self Reiki and I'm doing, my processing, my protocols, um, I started to deal with this issue of not being able to play as freely and expressively as I would like to, right? I'm at another level of expressing myself in joy and pleasure and play. And then that scene came to me again. So I asked, how did I die? And the answer came, you were playing. Oh, listen, the freedom, because I understood all my life. I had been told, you take things too seriously. You take things too seriously. You take your job too seriously. You take your career too seriously. You take your promotion too seriously. You take your uniform too seriously. I have been told that my entire life. If you know me, especially if you've known me in my military life, you already know this. You know this about me. And even when I'm like, hey, we're going to do the 44, wealth game, it becomes something super serious and super powerful and super significant. And I realize it's because this past life had a play wound. Who even knew that that was a thing? A play wound. That might be you. That might be playing out in you. You might be thinking, this is a money wound or a love wound or a sexuality wound or a divine feminine wound or and something as yummy as a play wound. And so what happens? I get to now sit with that. The way that I can express it is that essence of myself, right? Because in this past life, and she did die that way. So now I get to be with, like I get to bring, I see the question came in. I get to bring who I am now, how I understand now. I get to bring that with me and I get to sit with that part of myself and I get to love on her, me. I hug her, me. I repeat what I know now, in myself now. It is safe to play again. It is safe to play again. And I hug her in that I understand that you were not seen, but I see you. I speak to her as the mother or as the adult or as the loving persona that I would have wanted at that time because she is a part of me. And that's how the healing began. And when I tell you that the pain started to dissipate and go away, listen, I am diagnosed with arthritis, degenerative arthritis. I understand that when it is flaring up and I'm starting to feel like I don't have mobility again, it's because I'm not operating in my healed self. I'm stressed. I'm worried. I'm playing into the not being seen, not able to play, and that's what's happening. And I love it. And I'm so grateful because it's a reminder to me I don't have to stay in that wound. I don't have to stay in that energy. And I get to heal that part of me again. I will say this, I know that there are still some skeptics, including my husband. Mwah. And I know that it's like, well, I don't really believe in past life. That's okay. There are other ways in which this plays out. So the first is if you have a past life experience and you're like, I still don't believe in it, there's other ways to kind of perspective deal with this, right? If your subconscious is presenting it to you in that way, then you can interact with it as this is the way my subconscious can handle it. So whether it's really a past life or not, this is the way my subconscious can handle it so that I can heal through it. And so I will accept it as the vision of my subconscious, right? I can also, okay, so the person who sent me the question, if you remember the link, send me the link. But there's a link. I'll go get it and I'll drop it in the chat. But there's a YouTube video out there of a young boy, I believe he's South Korean, and he's doing research on how memory can be carried from generation to generation. He is doing research on caterpillars and butterflies, and he is concluding that it is so. Memory is carried through generations. So whether this was actually a past life, that you were this, you reincarnated and that was a past life, or it feels like a past life because you're actually carrying a memory of an ancestor. It presents itself the same way. It's a memory, it's an emotion, it's an energetic connection, an emotional connection that is not necessarily organic to you in this body. Whether it's a memory from an ancestor in generations, or it's an actual reincarnated past life, it's the same way. You get to interact with that part that's playing out in your current life in a different way. In a different way. And let me tell you something. For me, life-changing, because all the things that I was doing was not working. This was working. So here's another thing my invitation is, if it's working and it's against what you have always believed, preached, taught, known, then you get to expand in your infinite potentiality, that there's so much more out there than what we've always previously known. Science will tell you this. Biology will tell you this. Physics will tell you this. We're continually expanding and learning things that we thought were never possible. So my invitation to you is to open up to maybe this part of yourself, because the healing has been so expansive and so freeing for me. So much so that I then became a Reiki practitioner. Level 1, level 2, and then I attuned level 3 and became a master practitioner first. Stayed with that for about 1.5 years or 2, I don't remember, and then became master teacher. That's how powerful it was for me, because I was like, this is real. It's doing things in me, freeing me, healing me on so many levels. And it's always been my purpose to help other people heal and be free. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why I'm actually having this live, because it could actually help you be free. If you're feeling like you're experiencing something like this, I encourage you to contact me, right? I believe my email is in my profile. There are lots of resources there in my Stand store. There's a free timeline meditation that I just completed. there's the awakening lounge of the community that are people are wanting to explore, wanting to ask questions, wanting to explore in a safe environment, in a safe space where you're not judged, where you're not criticized, where you're not the skepticism isn't overriding your own intuition and your experience. I created that because I know what that feels like, because I've been through that. And now I know what it feels like to explore these parts of yourself where you can now free and clear limiting patterns, imposterism, perfectionism, self sabotaging, blocking yourself. Hmm. Patterns in relationships that keep repeating, repeating, repeating that are harmful to yourself. Religious suppression that you get to now be free from. Okay, so I have been up here a lot longer than I intended. And if you're live, Super Queen, I'm sending you so much love and power. If you're a replay, I'm sending you so much love and power. I'm here for the questions. I'm here for the comments. I'm here to hear your story. And I'm here to support you if you feel that you'd like to explore something like this, or you'd like to explore energy healing at all, or you'd like to just explore being in a community where people are allowing themselves to explore and be free, safe, accepted, loved for who they are, I welcome you in. Okay, so again, sending you so much love and power always.